and welcome back to Borman Farmstead. We're going to be starting a handful of projects around here this fall and winter, most of them revolving something to do with cattle, either barn improvements or outside improvements for cattle care, my own care, making things easier, improving things, fixing things. So today we're going to start on one of them. An overview of what we're going to be working on here inside the barn is my whole life there's always been a wooden walkway that we'd put in between here to walk from this part of the barn where all the flat work is, we got all the mangers, over to where the water hydrant is and down into what is now our shop. What I'd like to do is, since this wall is now deteriorating, I patched it up over the years, I want to rip this whole wall out here, including that post that's holding that gate up. I also want to rip out this wooden wall and redo that, and probably all the way down to the end of the barn here. This wooden platform is actually sitting on top of dirt. It's falling apart, it's deteriorating. There is a gravel little pit below where the water hydrant is. So I'd like to rip all this out, redo that. I've always had a water tank here. I'd like to go to an automatic water like a Little Springs, pour a little concrete pad, set that on top of it. That way throughout the winter, I don't have to worry about as much of having water freezing issues and cows not having water to drink. Continuing on with this, after I remove that wooden wall, this concrete platform here, I'd like to remove that, the little knee wall it's sitting on, and I'd like to cut this back. There's an old barn beam right here. I'd like to go past that and pour 2 steps. That way when you walk over here, you step down 2 steps, come along here, and you can walk flat on poured concrete all the way to the back. When putting this back in, I'd like to pour a concrete wall along this whole edge here. That way I can still push manure up against it to get it out. And the same thing on this side. I'd like to pour a concrete wall along here, probably about 2, maybe 3 feet tall, and put wood on both sides above it. That way I can push up to it. You know, it's not a big deal. So this is a project I've been wanting to do for a while. I'd like to shore up this area over here and get this better. For my comfort, that way I don't have to worry about as much with the livestock, them getting out. I've never had an issue, but I don't want to have an issue. I also want to make it a little bit easier for me in the winter. It's always been a pain point for me. I always have issues with water over here. I've had frozen hydrants in the past, so if I can solve that and get that taken care of, I'll be happy. To do this project, I've got 6 steers still in the barn here, so I'm going to take them, I'm going to run them all back into this back area, shut that gate, that way they can't come over on this side, and I'll have to relocate my water tank to that far wall over there. That way I can still get them water. They still have plenty of space for while we're doing this. All of them are going to leave this farm here within the next 2 to 4 weeks. And then we'll be empty for a couple weeks until I get a new group of smaller calves in. Leave me an opportunity to get a lot of this taken care of and squared away and cleaned up in the meantime. That way when that new group of calves come in, I can have this somewhat taken care of. I probably won't have the walls put back in or all this done yet. It's probably gonna be a little bit closer to winter, but at least I can have this cleaned up and ready. That way when that group comes in, I can rearrange this again and let them go outside and have all this taken care of. So come along, because we got a lot of work to do today. All right, so I've got the water tank moved to the other side of the barn. I'll go ahead and run all the steers over here. Shut these gates. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Sip. Sip, 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 sip. Well, I've got all the manure cleaned out and all the areas cleaned up. Scraped along the walls and actually discovered that this back wall, the bottom sill board is rotted out, along with the bottom of them 2 posts, causing all the rafters down there to sag. I don't know if we're gonna have enough to get that done in this project. It's gonna start getting outside of the scope, but it's definitely getting put on the list for one of the next things to do in this barn. I'm gonna take that pressure washer and try to clean this area up even more. That way it's a lot nicer to work in. All right, the pressure washing's done. Although it's very wet right now, it's quite a bit cleaner than it was. The 6 leftover steers that are still in here are really wondering what the heck is going on. I did get wet stepping in a hole. I don't even know what this hole's here for. There's a top of a big like 8-inch tile sticking up in here and it's filled with gravel. I have no clue what's there for. As far as I know, Grandpa never poured any of this concrete in this barn. So that'd be predating them buying the place back in the, I guess it'd be the late 60s. So I have no clue why there's even a hole in the floor of this barn. No clue. I have no idea. No rhyme or reason. No receivers outside. Nothing. We don't have a lagoon. We don't have any kind of liquid manure storage. No clue. No clue why it's there. There was one casualty. I ended up hitting my finger with the sledgehammer. It feels really good right about now. So far, that's the only injury on this project. Whatever I can do now, spend the money and invest in this barn now to make it easier. I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing lasts not only just for me, but also the next generation. I could easily just put some wood shoring in here, make that wall nice and stout and push up against that, but that only lasts another 20, 25 years. If I put concrete in here, that should last my lifetime and also the lifetime of the next person to be farming on this farm. You can really start to see the curve in some of these beams because that corner post way back here in the corner and this one are both rotted out and starting to sink down. So yeah, that's all the time I'm going to have for today to work on this project. And probably all the more we're going to see in this video. Hey guys, this will be the first video of a multi-video series working on this section of the barn. You know, we've gotten these walls taken out and the floor cleaned up a little bit. One of the next videos will be removing concrete, getting prepared to put a different water tank system in. So stay tuned. There'll be more videos to come on this project and what we're doing here. But hey, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We can do a lot here, but we can't grow this channel without your help. Thank you, and have a good day.